Greetings, everyone. In this video clip, I will be covering the topic of spirituality and energetic boundaries. Energetic boundaries is an important topic to explore when we're looking at our personal healing, as well as looking at our energy system and how it functions. We may consider from a spiritual perspective that each of us is a spiritual being originating from a unified spiritual source. At some higher level of our existence, these boundaries that we perceive in the physical plane don't exist, at least not in a tangible way. So our field of energy and consciousness would therefore be overlapping or easily interacting with other fields of energy and consciousness on those other levels. Yet here on the physical plane, we have these physical bodies which have their boundaries. We have our skin, and so that which is beneath the skin we perceive as being part of the self, and that which exists outside of and beyond our skin we perceive as being something external to the self. At the deepest level of consciousness, perhaps there is only undifferentiated self, what we may think of as the Creator, the universal intelligence, whatever name we may give to that source. But then for creation to occur, this archetypal differentiation between self and other must arise. And that gets played out on a very deep, tangible level here on the physical plane in our human experience. Those spirits that are choosing to embark on this human experience, on this physical plane adventure, may not really be prepared for what they're going to encounter here. They're not used to the realities of this dimensional realm. It's common to see people who have an essence, a core personality in a sense, of wanting to share love and light everywhere they go. That energy of love and light may be closer to our true essence. And so as we come into this plane here, this physical realm, we may naturally want to express that, to share it with everyone, with every person that we meet. However, this realm, this dualistic plane, is one where we have to learn boundaries. We need to be able to keep ourselves safe, to protect ourselves from that which might be harmful to us, to not just be a doormat for those who might try to abuse or exploit us. And therefore, if we come here expecting to just purely radiate love and light and be fully open to everyone and everything around us, we may encounter some painful experiences, different forms of abuse or trauma. When those experiences occur, there are different ways that we might react or respond to that, different ways that we may adjust our boundaries or not adjust them, depending on how we conceive of what's occurring and what we think is the best way to handle it. One way to react to some form of abuse or mistreatment that we're experiencing is to establish overly solid or strong boundaries. In other words, to shield ourselves in perhaps an excessive way, where we begin to create a wall around us and isolate ourselves from other people and from a full expression or full spectrum of experiences. A person who becomes very fearful, very phobic, someone who isolates themselves, someone who develops what might be called social phobia. That could be an example of an overreaction to being in a situation where you're abused, where you're treated harshly. Another potential response is for the person to actually try even harder to be open and loving toward everyone around them. In that case, they'll continue to let others mistreat or abuse them, thinking that somehow they can win them over or fix or change those other people by projecting love and kindness. If we were to work on developing more balanced and healthy boundaries, we might realize that it's important to be able to be flexible, to adjust our boundaries depending on the circumstance or situation. This means that when we're around some people or situations, we may need to establish stronger, more solid boundaries. We may need to really assert ourselves a lot to stand up for our own well-being. In other situations, it will be suitable to be more open, to let ourselves be more vulnerable, to allow ourselves to connect more fully and deeply with others when those other people are not threatening or harmful to us. We need to be able to evaluate these situations, to have good discernment. In the beginning of our life, when we're growing up as children, usually we haven't developed that discernment so well. And so we often will reflexively or reactively adopt one extreme or another to protect or defend ourselves, or to try to get the approval of others, whatever our basic social or emotional goal might be. Our emotional and psychological boundaries and energetic boundaries are reflected in our energy system, in our aura, and in our chakras. People often talk about chakras being open or closed, and that reflects how we've adjusted the size or expanse of that chakra, the energy flow going through it, in order to interact with our surroundings. In some cases, we may tend to shut down or constrict a chakra because we want to avoid to isolate ourselves from external threats. This could be someone who shuts down, who closes off their heart after they've had a heartbreak or experienced some grief. It could be a person who closes in their solar plexus chakra when they've been around people who are overly domineering, overly demeaning toward them. Also, with the aura as a whole, our aura, our energy field, can be closed in or expanded. We may close it in when we want to protect ourselves from a harsh environment, and we may expand it when we wish to interact with our environment more, to influence the world around us more, to project our own will. These energy components, these aspects of our energy system, are fluid. They are not set in stone. We are continually adjusting and shifting the way we're expressing and projecting our energy. Thus, as we grow and evolve as a person, those constructs in our energy system will tend to shift and change. Our aura would appear different over time. For those that are dealing with personal challenges in your lives, it's helpful to understand these dynamics, to see how we develop these energy patterns, how we've created certain patterns in terms of our energetic boundaries. Some of us may tend to keep our energy field too closed. Others may leave our energy field too open. Neither extreme is really healthy for us. Therefore, if we can learn to be more flexible, to adjust and adapt to what is best for each situation or circumstance, we'll be able to function more effectively, more successfully in our lives. For those that wish to explore this topic further, I invite you to watch other videos I've created about energy healing and about archetypal psychology. I may do additional presentations about the energetic boundaries concept and how we can maintain healthy boundaries. For now, I would like to wish every one of you a wonderful day. Namaste.